Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create your own Kahoot from the ground up and why we might be using Kahoot to have teachable moments in lessons and how to do formative and summative assessment. So anywhere you are in Kahoot, you'll probably be able to find the blue button that says create. When you click on that button, you'll be shown some of these options. Now there are some wonderful templates that you can explore, but I'm going to take us through creating a Kahoot from scratch. So when you come into this section here, you'll be able to see that from the top and across, you can title your Kahoot. So it might be called Fractions for Beginners, or it might be called Gold Rush Facts, whatever topic you're after. On the left, you'll see it shows you how many quiz questions you have, and you start off with just the one. You can always add more questions. And this is what it looks like when you add a question. You might think about the wording of the question so that students can easily read it, know what they're being asked, and then find the answer below, and then they'll have some answers to choose from. So let's look at an example. So the question might be, when did the Australian gold rush start? And we've got options 1982, 1853, 2021, and 1851. Now, automatically, you're setting up the question to work out who knows the right answer, and you have to give it a tick when you know the right answer and you're creating it so that Kahoot and the students will know it. But you might put an answer there that shows that the students roughly get the right idea, but they're not quite precise, but they're not completely failing. You might put 1982 there because it really shows that they know it was in the past, but not when. And 2021 shows a student who really doesn't get the answer. So you can grade your questions along that sort of scale, which can be handy. So this is one type of question. It is a quiz type question. Now you can pick different question types. So instead of a quiz, you might pick a true or false question. And so the question would be, did the Australian gold rush started in 1851, true or false? That's much more binary and led, and that's probably the sort of stuff you're looking at for your D and C level questions. Whereas if you're putting in a quiz, you're offering up D, C, or B, depending on the depth of the content. Now, here we have one where they would type an answer in. Now, if you're looking for a specific date or a specific word, this can be a really interesting one. Or you might just want to say that there are no points put to this and you're going to look at the results, and there are a multitude of ways to do it. That can really offer scope for expression and extension from the students. Now, you can have a puzzle where they might have to align the elements, where they drag them around. That can be from smallest to tallest or chronological order. That can also give you a bit of an understanding of their understanding of multiple points. Now, you can have just a poll, and that can be interesting in teachable moments like, how confident are you feeling in this topic, or how are you doing today? It really depends on the topic. And then you can also put in slides. And I love slides because they're just giving info to the students. So it might be a YouTube clip that you get them to watch or you show on the big screen, or it might just be some text that you need them to read and take their time with before the question rushes them into a 30-second timetable. So the slides are really awesome as well. Now, once you've selected your question type, and I'll pop it back to quiz, you can select how long the question will go for. If you're doing it as a timed synchronous event, you wouldn't want to go less than 20 seconds usually, and you wouldn't want to wait 4 minutes. But once everybody's put in their answer, it stops the timer anyway. So 30 seconds is often a bit of a sweet spot. For points, for those who like to try to get the speed as well as the correctness, you can have double points later in the game so people feel like they can catch up, or you can just have no points because maybe it's a text answer or it's a poll. Now, with a quiz, you can have multi-select, and it tells the students multi-select and they know to select more than one. That can give you some more nuanced sort of data in the answers, where there might be an obvious answer in there, and that might be a C, but there might be a less obvious one that's a B or an A, and you can see which students do pick that. And you can see which students pick all four and clearly don't know what they're talking about. Now, once you've created a question and you're happy with it, you might want to put some media into it. And so if you click on there, you can search for images and GIFs, and you can search for audio and videos. And it's really handy what it comes up with just for a basic visual for the class. As you can see here, typing for the gold rush gives you a nice visual that just reinforces the theme of what you're talking about, but it might not be giving you specific stuff that you need to use. For that, you can actually upload an image. So here's a handy hint on how to get the exact image you want. If you create a slide deck and then put in all the information you need, whether it's a bunch of text or whether it's a diagram or a map or a flag or a mathematical equation, you put it into the slide as you need it, and then you go up to File, Download as a PNG, which is a high resolution image, and it just downloads that single slide as one image. With that image in your downloads folder, you can click on Upload Image, and it will give you an opportunity to search your computer. You can click on the image that you want, open it up, and it will insert it. So this is a touch more fiddly, but it gives you real specificity with what you're showing the students and expecting them to engage with. So with that done and you've got the question, you might hit duplicate, which is down here on the bottom right, because you like the image or you like the structure. And when you press that, it will just create a second one on the left, so you can start to see your questions there. Or you might click add question and choose from the many question types that are there. And then you're going to do that for maybe 5 to 10 questions, depending on what the purpose is. If it's less than 5, the students might not feel like they got enough, or that you might not get enough data. Any longer than 10, and you never know how long it's quite going to get, but anywhere between 5 to 10, and you've got probably a few really good teachable moments, or you've got some really good data showing you sort of D level to C to B to A, depending on the depth of the questions. Now, I'm going to show you a few Kahoots that I've made and why I made them. When you're looking for your Kahoots that you have created, they'll be in your library tab, and in there it'll have all of them. Here's one about place value that I have created in the past, and I did it as a bit of a pre-assessment to see where the students were. So as you can see, the questions are fairly simple, and if I click on show answers, all I'm seeing is, do they understand how to create patterns? And then as I go through the questions, they start to get a bit more complex just in size number. So at the end of this Kahoot, I was able to look at my data and say, oh, okay, most of the class got it, a few need support, some of them maxed out, let's see where I can extend them. So that gives you a really good way of working out where your class is at. That's if we're doing it in the classroom. You could run something like this through a Google Meet and just say, everybody stay on the screen now and do it. It's fairly quick and timed because the questions are fairly quick and easy to sort of mentally work out, and you'd be able to get a pretty good assessment of what's going on. Whereas a different sort of Kahoot that I'd made in the past was a Flipgrid for beginners one, where really I wanted to see if the class knew the topic. So you put in questions where if everybody answers the right thing, you just move on with the lesson. If everybody answers the wrong thing, you pause and you have a teachable moment. And again, you can do that in the classroom, or you can do that through a Google Meet. Now, if you're doing something that's more like information of the gold rush and you don't mind it being an open book sort of test, you can set it asynchronously as an assigned task, and you don't mind if they have to go and get the information, and that'll give you some data as well. It'll definitely help you work out maybe who is falling below a C because they could never get the right answer, and it'll definitely give you that C and above, and then you can work out, all right, I'm going to target these 10 students who are high flying to do another assessment to really interrogate if they did in fact have the B or the A, and you would do that outside of Kahoot. Okay, hopefully at the end of this video, you feel confident to press create some different questions and know what types of questions and scaled questions and whether you're going to use them for teachable moments or for some sort of assessment, whether they're going to be live or through a Google Meet or sent asynchronously through an assigned link. Have fun making your first Kahoot or your next Kahoot. Thank you for watching the video.